Hello and welcome to part 4 of this briefing about Centrify on-premise SSO. And in the previous video, we talked about how we can provide direct integration via PAM, via SASL, via Kerberos to login applications, Oracle databases, MongoDB. We showed a little bit of Hadoop and some Couchbase as well. Right. Now we're going to talk about the application plugin. So Centrify provides SPNEGO plugins for Apache, Java servers, SAP, including SAP GUI, and it provides a great plugin for DB2. And in this video, we're going to see them. I'm going to log into my old laptop environment using CPS so we can take a look. I'll also show you some tools. Remember, Centrify provides a lot of tools, including the ability to use PKI certificates from the Microsoft CA, and also some cool tools as well. So without further ado, let's go back to my environment here. I'm going to open my browser. So the first use case is going to be Apache, right? So we provide an SPNEGO plugin for Apache. Once you join the system with Active Directory via Centrify, now we can and notice here that I have the Apache home. This is running on my CentOS 5 machine. We provide this SPNEGO capability, right? So what that means is that Diana here, if she were to open a sample application, in this case with Kerberos, and it's good to know SPNEGO. So SPNEGO will negotiate Kerberos first. If it can't, it will try NTLM. And we can even do basic. In the past, we've also provided ADFS 1.0 connectivity with this as well as AWS Fed. So notice that I was able to access the application as myself. Notice that the authentication method was Kerberos. A lot of variables that I got through this app, including my group memberships, right? So not only we can do authentication, but if you write your application right, you could do authorization based on group memberships, right? Another benefit has to do with Java servers, right? In this case, I have JBOSS, and actually JBOSS in here is running on Windows. So we, believe it or not, we provide some plugins for Windows. Some application developers don't use the proper APIs, and notice, we have the same sample capability. So in here, this is going to be more like a Java. And notice that I was able to authenticate via Kerberos. In this case, this is a Java server, right? And the ones that fall into this category are Tomcat, WebSphere, WebLogic, and other J2EE. We also provide an SDK that if you have, for example, the Spring framework and you want to provide your own SSO, we also have that capability available. Same thing for Tomcat. I'm not going to go into this a lot, but it's same capability. The other use case has to do with DB2, right? So with DB2, there's 3 challenges, right? One of the challenges is that, and let me try and sign in to my DB2 system as, in this case, let's do it as Diana, right? Actually, Fred Thomas, okay. So what's my problem with the DB2, right? So usernames cannot be longer than 8 characters. You are forced to maintain users in the local etc password file and using use groups and Unix. With the Centrify, we provide a user password plugin, a group plugin, and a Gssapi plugin. Let's look at it in action. Fred Thomas is fred.thomas in Active Directory. We eliminated the dot as the Unix name. So if I do something like db2 connect to sample and user fred.thomas, I'm going to be challenged in this case, unique credential. And what you'll see is that not only I'll be able to log into DB2, but notice that I overcame the truncation problem, right? With our plugin. And again, so you see that I'm not tricking you. If I cat the etc password file and I grab Fred Thomas, I'm not here, right? So, I could do a get tent password Fred Thomas, and this guy's coming from Active Directory. I could do more powerful AD query user -a Fred Thomas, And you'll see that you get a lot of information, including if the account is locked, disabled, when the user changed the password. So a lot of tools, right? So it's native AD integration at its best. Um, Another benefit could be also GSS API. For example, you may want to provide SSO to DB2. Let me see. In this case, let's do it with Diana. If I do a klist, I think she does have a ticket. Let's see. I log into the wrong server, but I think I do have DB2 in here. So DB2 connect to sample. This should give her GSS API login. So in this case, she didn't have to do it as Fred Thomas before. You can get SSO as well. So again, um, Apache plugins, Java plugins, and by the way, those Java plugins, though all those Java applications are supporting claims, right? So, we are working to enable that with the identity service. So Kerberos support is a question of the past. Now we're dealing with claims, right? Another thing that I wanted to mention is the tools, right? So don't underestimate the tools. We provide PuTTY, and this is Kerberized PuTTY, with support for Kerberos. And I think I showed before that we can do things across one-way trust, right? Which is, unorthodox stuff that you can do in AD. But, we provide a tool set, like even psftp or pftp. If I needed to log into, for example, my Eng 5, notice that I'm going to get, actually, let's see. Okay, PF. Let's see. I think I may have it here. PSFTP. There you go. And I got SSL to that system. And, imagine this. If you need to transport a file from Windows to a Unix machine, you can use a key tab. So we enable a lot of capabilities to eliminate the need for scripts in your applications. Same thing around AD capabilities like AD DNS provides the ability to do dynamic DNS updates. AD cert um, and AD cert is in a different place, but we allow the use of auto enrollment for PKI certificates, and this is great because if your application is using SSL certs or you're using PKI for authentication, your Unix, Linux, and Macs can use them as well. So in conclusion, and I know I'm gonna have to do the SAP one for SAP GUI and NetWeaver, but in conclusion, Centrify has you covered, right? And when it comes to SSO, and this is on premise, right? There's another scenario that I'm going to be covering, which is the scenario for web, SaaS, and mobile applications, and that's going to be another series. So stay tuned. If you have AD, Centrify, I believe, and don't take my word for it, we're the best bang for your buck.